Greetings, AI Trailblazers. Are you interested in getting AI deep neural nets trained with data that you've collected, but you have trouble annotating that data and it takes a long time, or you don't have the proper tools for it? I'm here to show you a tool that should make your life a lot easier, especially when it comes to creating annotations for object detection neural nets such as Darknet YOLO and single-shot multi-box detectors. It's called dlannotator, and it's available via the Microsoft Store, as well as information. A free version is available from TrahmsTechnologies.com. I'll be walking you through the dlannotator tool in this video using some sample images so you can learn how it works. First, I'll show the title page here. This is a standard window that is actually scaled to 800 by 600 regardless of the images that are loaded on it. Rest assured that the images that are loaded in and the data that is read out or written out is scaled according to the images that you have. If you have questions about the annotation tools in terms of the controls, there's a quick help button, which is here, and I'll leave this open for now so you can follow along with the controls that are available. In addition to the quick help for the tool, we also have a tool setup, which is actually a area that is available for pointing the tool at various different locations, such as the folder that you have stored your images, as well as the custom label file, and I'll get into the format of that label file in a second. And also the ground truth files where you intend to load them, as well as where you intend to save them. These could be the same folder, but you may want to actually store ground truth files beyond the ones that you've actually created already. If you have the deep neural net tracking ability in the licensed version, this is actually showing you where you can actually load those parameter files for that deep neural net to allow for automated annotation, and I'll show that in a little bit. So let's go through the controls briefly before we bring up the images. There's the ability to move back and forward via your image collection in your folder via these controls. You can decrement or increment the label that you wish to annotate via these WNS keys, as well as with the mouse button. You can predict forward and backward using these, and this is basically the same as A and D, except that with prediction, so you carry annotations forward or backward. You can also delete annotations via the last annotation applied using the R button, or you can clear out all annotations, all ROIs, using the F button. T is for tracking. This allows you to cycle between either copy annotations from frame to frame, from image to image. You can also do object detection or object flow tracking, and you also have the ability to do DNN tracking, which will actually detect objects in the frame using the neural net you've provided. There is also zoom and resize ROIs, and I'll get into this using this control key, and we'll see that in a second. So first, let's get going with the tool setup. As I showed before, tool setup is where you can bring this menu up, or this dialog up at any time. Right now, it doesn't have any annotations, and I'm going to bring up a sample set that is located on the Trahms Technologies website, so you can download this sample via the FTP site. I'll just open it up here. So we use a YAML file to preload, and I'll bring that file up now so you can see what it looks like. The dlannotator YAML file is a human readable file that you will be able to update with the location of your information, such as your images, your JPEG images, your ground truth files if you have them, your label file if you have them, and your configuration files for your deep neural net if you have those. So the format of the labels file, right now we're using a file called Coco names, and it's in a specific format expectation of one class label per line, and I'll show that right here. And this is the standard Coco list of 80 classes that are available, and the tool will read these in and make them available to you for annotation. All right. Let's get annotating. So once you've actually done this, it hasn't loaded anything yet. You can specify new locations for the load GT file location as well as the save GT file location. But it's loaded these path information parameters in. It hasn't done anything yet. That happens when you actually do the load files. And here we have, it's successful because it actually is able to bring in the first file and allow you to see it. You have some controls available to you to navigate the files that are loaded into the tool, such as the slider here, which goes through all of the files available in the folder. And you can see the file name displayed below, as well as the image number and it's all in alphanumeric format or order, so you should be able to see in order of the files in that directory what they look like. Notice the crosshair. Crosshair basically is available, and it goes all the way to 800 by 600, even if the file native dimensions is something different, like it is here. So let's go ahead and annotate a particular frame here. Let's say we'll stop on this one. Let's get a person in there. Okay. So notice here there's the class label. If I use the mouse wheel, or if I do W and S, I should be able to adjust this. I'm just sliding the mouse wheel back and forth here, so I can go through any class I want. And I'm just going to keep it on person, and I'm going to use the left mouse button to click and drag, just like you would in any standard bounding box in a paint tool, to surround a person. And I want to say do a car. I'll do a car over here. And I'll do a car over here. It doesn't really care which direction you go. I'll do a car over here. And we'll do, I don't know, let's see, a stop sign. We'll say that's a stop sign. Now, if you don't like how you've actually placed a particular bounding box, you can remove it using the right mouse button. So I'll just go select this particular box, and I'll right click, and it's gone. Let's put it back. Now if I want to just move it, I just hit the control key to move or resize. So if I get near the center of the box and I hit the control key, it turns it red and they start to move. So I can actually move that around. And if I get near any of the edges, I can actually resize that box. So any of the box edges I can resize. Also, if I want to remove the last ROI that was applied, I can hit R, which I'll do right now, and it should have the same effect. It just removes the... But I can hit R again, and it will keep going, and it will remove the last ROI that was applied. So let me put the cars back in there. Put a car in here, car in here, car in here. We'll do a stoplight too, if I can find that here. Maybe there isn't one. Okay, I'll just do the stop sign then. Okay, there we go. Now, say you have an image that's very, very has a lot of detail very far away, and you need to actually get into, drawing a bounding box with some precision. And so there is a zoom functionality in the licensed version of dlannotator. So if you place the mouse, and it's very similar using the mouse wheel and the control key. If you roll up with the mouse wheel with the control key pressed, you should be able to actually zoom into any particular area of the image. Okay. So I'm happy with this particular version of the annotation. So what I will do is I'm going to go ahead. If I hit A or D, it will go backward or forward. So I'll do that right now. So A goes backward. You notice the annotations are gone. D goes forward. The annotations are there. So I've annotated one image out of many, but I want to carry these annotations forward. So what I do is I will use the prediction version or prediction controls. And notice here the prediction method is currently set to copy, which is a dumb conversion or dumb prediction. Basically just takes the existing locations of these images and carries them forward to the next image. You can do that, or you could use the tracking, the object tracking mechanism, which is if you hit T, it will cycle the tracking method between copy, track, and DNN in the licensed version. So we'll do track, and we'll hit the E key to actually start going forward. You can also do this backward, by the way. So it doesn't matter forward or backward. It will work either direction. And as you're going, you notice these are being carried forward, and it's doing its best to track based on the pixel similarities between the images. But you may have to do a little bit of adjustment as it's going. And so in just this period of time, I've been able to annotate. Let's see, I'll just move backward and forward with A and D, just this, or you can use the slider key if you want. So I've done quite a few already, like about 25 in this particular instance. Okay, let's stop on this. So we'll go to another section. Let's see here. This is one where I'd actually loaded in the annotations from a previous session. Let's go ahead and remove the annotations in this particular frame. So I can do that using the F key. That will just clear out the frame, or clear out the annotations for that particular frame. And I'm going to change the I could go back and actually manually annotate like I did before with car. I'll do a few cars here. And we'll do track again to predict. Actually, I'll do one more. So it's it's predicting. You see how much more efficient it can be when you just allow it to carry forward with some prediction. And we've done another 25 images or so in the course of a few seconds. Let me move this over here. Let's move that over there. Okay, so now if we want to review, we'll just go back and forward, A and D. So you can see this is actually the pretty fast. We've annotated these cars. Very useful tool. So let's go ahead and redo this. Instead of using our manual annotation, which we just did, I'm going to apply the F key. I'm going to delete the annotations here and prediction works with annotations or with no annotation. So if I go forward, you see the annotations in the next frame, but I can just predict and it will just carry forward the annotations. This is like erasing all of the annotations for this frame set. So now it's all, oops, let's get right there. Okay. Let's apply a different annotation technique. Let's apply the DNN, and this is using the location of a DNN that I've loaded trained on the Coco dataset. It's YOLO v3 tiny. So I'll change using the T key to DNN. And you don't have to annotate anything at this point. You can just let it go. And when you start to predict using the prediction key, the DNN will attempt to apply boxes to these objects as it sees fit. And this is where the auto key mode comes into play. You may want to do this in rapid fashion, frame to frame. So I typically will turn this on, and you turn it on off to disable. This is like the auto drive mode where it will just keep going. You don't have to hold this prediction key down. It will keep going until you uncheck the auto key mode. So let's go ahead and start the DNN annotation using prediction. Here we go. So there it's doing its best to annotate. It's predicting cars that it sees. Now you notice your neural net results may vary based on how well it's detecting things in your image. But here you can see it's doing its best to detect things in the image. So I'm going to stop it here. And you can go back using the A and D keys to see how it did. And you can correct any of these. You can move them around using your control key function. You can resize them. All that functionality is available to you. So when you save the annotations, these are bounding boxes usable by Darknet YOLO for training, also for other types of object detection neural nets. You can save them. The format I will show you is basically when you hit Save GT, it saves it into a very standard format, and I'll show it to you right now. So the format, which I remind you is in the tool, actually you could see it reminds you of the GT format, which is standard for all detections. It's the image file name that was annotated, the number of detections that you've annotated, and for each detection of the number of detections, it's the center X and center Y of that box, the width and height of that box, and the class name. So here you can see an example of the file name, the number of detections, the information about each bounding box, and then the string associated with the class. And this is all stored in a single file that you specify on your own. Okay. And you can bring up this tool setup at any time if you're curious about changing it. It will refresh that in real time. The only thing that is not set or is required at the very beginning is the YAML file for the settings. So that's the very first step you have to take with this tool is actually load the YAML file or get the proper setup for the YAML file, which I showed you before. And this is a standard format that allows the tool to populate various different things. The tool won't really move until you've loaded the first overall master config file in this top field. Okay, so what I'm going to show you next is the location of the Trahms Technologies website. So this is where you can get help related to the tools that are available from Trahms Technologies. Like I said, the tools are available on the Microsoft Store, both in evaluation form and in full license form. This gives you some information about the various aspects of the tools. And tools are also, supporting files are also available via FTP, and I'll show that to you as well. Anonymous FTP is supported on the Trahms Technology website using the anonymous at trahmstechnologies.com username with no password. And here's what the site looks like. So there are, based on the tools that are available from ftp.trahmstechnologies.com, we'll look at the dlannotator folder. There is an evaluation version of the tool that I've just shown you, as well as some of these samples files that we just went through in this video. So if you have questions, feel free to email us at support@trahmstechnologies.com. Look forward to your feedback. If you have questions, by all means, contact us. And hopefully this will make your annotation jobs quite a bit more efficient and fun. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.